Hi everyone, this is Sushant from Unity Devs. Welcome to our today's session on how you can route Mulesoft application logs to Datadog. Okay, so guys, before we begin, I'm going to brief you about the agendas in today's sessions. So these are the list of topics we are going to cover one by one. So let's get started with the first part. So guys, before directly going to understand how you can route Mulesoft logs to Datadog, we will understand what is logging basically, and then we will move forward with the POCs on how you can route MuleSoft application logs to Datadog. We will perform one practical, we will create one Mule app, and we will see how we can do that, how we can achieve that. So what is logging basically? So guys, basically logging is a technique used in software development that basically allows developers to see into their application runtime process. So it can be used for various purposes basically, uh, for checking the performance, monitoring, for debugging, for getting the information how your code is working, for errors check if there is any error occurred on your code. So with the help of logs we can see those errors. So in these scenarios logging is very helpful. So as per the definition you can see logging is the act of keeping a log of Mule events that occur in a computer systems, such as problems, errors, or just information on current operations. These events may occur in the operating systems or in other software. A message or log entry is recorded for each such event. So to understand the whole functionality of a code, how your code is working, so in these cases logging is very helpful. So I'm going to explain more about the logging with the help of one example. So guys, let's say we have two users. So a developer got a use case in which they need to get inputs from two users, okay, and perform a sum on those two inputs. So first user typed the input as 24 and second user typed the input again as 24. So the program which developer created will add these two inputs and give the final result. But let's say something happened in the code that they didn't got any output. So how developer will get to know what is happening in the code? So there comes the logging. So developer will get to know what is happening in the code with the help of logging. So if any error occurred, for some reason program is not able to output the result, in that case your program will output the log saying sum is not successful. So with this message developer will get a notification and they will look into the code and see why that error occurred. So basically in these scenarios logging is very helpful. Okay, so guys, let's move on to the next topic. What is Datadog? So guys, Datadog is basically a monitoring service for cloud scale applications, providing monitoring of servers, database, tools and services. So Datadog is basically the monitoring service. So whatever logs you want to log in your application, you can host those logs in the Datadog, and Datadog parallelly will monitor those logs also, that how many error logs you got, how many information logs you got, how many debug logs you got. So all that monitoring part will be handled by Datadog. Okay, so before going to start with the POCs, you need to register with the Datadog first. You need to create one Datadog account, a free trial account. So I will provide you the link in the description. From there you can create one free account. So in my case you can see it's already created. Okay, so you need to create one free account and then you can use this tool. You can configure this tool in your Mulesoft application to get the logs and monitoring part. Okay, so once account is created, you need to click on this section which has been highlighted in the red color. You need to click on that, and then you will see one option as API keys under organization settings. You need to click on that. You will get one window pop up like this, and there you can see one API key will be there. So that key you need to copy and keep it somewhere in your notepad simply. Okay, so this part I am going to cover in the POC when I am going to create one small Mulesoft application. Okay, so let's get started with the POCs. So I already have a Datadog account. Okay, so I will go to the Anypoint Studio. I will create one new Mulesoft application named as Datadog demo today. I will click on finish, and you can see one application has been created here. So I'm going to drag one listener which will listen to the requests. Okay, I will put some logs. I will set some payload, and again I will log something. In listener configuration, I will keep it as localhost and click on OK. Path, I can give it as test. In logs, I can keep it like started, ended. And log type also you can select what type of log you want to log in the Datadog. So there are different type of logs. You can see debug logs, error logs, info logs, trace ones. So usually we keep it as info log, and here also we keep it as info log because it's a kind of information. We will say it like apps started successfully. Successfully finished, like this. Okay, we will put the debugger points and see the logs. So guys, how you can configure Datadog with this Mulesoft application. So we will configure it with the help of log4j. So there is one appender which you need to put there, okay, to enable the logging. So whatever logs you will log here in this app, you can see the same logs in the Datadog also with the help of that appender. So you need to configure that appender first. Okay, this is known as a HTTP Appender. Okay, so it has name. You need to specify name that it's a Datadog HTTP Appender. URL you need to give, okay, like this, HTTP. Similar way, logs datadoghq.com. Okay, host name you need to give, source you need to give as Mulesoft or anything, service you can give as your app name. Okay, content type, it will be application/json. By default we keep it as application/json. And here in property name you need to give the API key. The API key which I told you to keep it somewhere in the notepad file. So that same API key you need to paste it here under value section. Okay. Okay. So in the end you can see the logs like this. Okay. In Datadog under logs section. So I'm going to show you the same thing now, how you can achieve that. So I have HTTP Appender already pasted in my notepad. Okay. So one thing you need to care about, whenever you paste this URL, you need to give the same region which you have selected while creating the account. If it's a US region, any US region you have selected, you need to give it like this. If it's a EU region, you need to give it whatever URL they will provide you. Sometimes this extension is named as EU in case of EU instance. Okay, so carefully you need to give that URL here. Okay, so in my case you can see us5.datadog.com hq.com. So I copied here and pasted it here simply. Similarly you need to do whatever host you have selected. In your case you need to copy it from the URL section and paste it here in the HTTP appender. Okay. Okay. And host you can give it like any point. Source you can give it like Mulesoft. Service you can give it like Datadog Mule. And API key, as I told you need to paste it here. So you need to copy it and go to the endpoint studio. Click on this log4j. Click on here. Enter. Paste. And here in appender reference you need to give it like Datadog. The same name which you have given here. Like this. And save it. And what type, any type of logs you want to enable, you can enable it here. Control Shift backslash. Sorry. Or you can just simply remove these. Okay. So debug level logs are also enabled, but I didn't select it in my app, so it will not reflect. Just click on save. So after saving, now we will deploy this application and see the logs. So you need to select the same app, apply and debug. So guys, as you can see, this application has been deployed. Now I will hit this application from my local. So as you know, host I have selected as localhost, port was 8081 and the endpoint was test. So I will hit it. Okay, so you can see it has been successfully started. I will resume it. Okay, I resume and next. Now I will go to the Datadog and see if I got any logs. I will reload it. So guys, as you can clearly see these logs, okay, it's the same date, 4th of August. Okay, and the whatever payload I transferred from here, it's the same payload. Okay, application name is also same, Datadog demo today, which I gave here. Okay, app started successfully. We need to see where this log is. So we will go to the search bar and write it here where it is. So you can see here our log is there. So see, so it means whatever logs are there in your local, it has been successfully routed to the Datadog. Okay, so that's how it works, guys. Clearly you can, so whatever log you are logging in your Mulesoft app, you can select it as it like that. So in my case it was info log, I selected only info. Okay, and I can see only this info level logs I will see. Okay, so that's how it works. So not only the info logs, it will show you all type of logs. When your application was deploying runtime logs, it was showing. Okay, now I will hit it again and see send. Okay, next, let's see. So you need to keep it you need to refresh it again and again so that you will get the latest logs. So there are a lot of logs. So what I will do, I will search it again on the log which we have provided here. We can search it with the help of this word. Let's say successfully. So you can see 3 logs found. 2 of them are related to the previous hit request which we did previously. Successfully finished. This one was also previous. This one is the new one. This is the new one which we just saw now. This one. Okay. So now if you resume it and next, now if you see again. Okay, so now if I refresh it again, okay, now if I again write successfully, okay, now you can see our last log successfully finished we got, which we just saw. So that's how it works, guys. Okay, you can do some POCs by yourself so that you will get some clear understanding. You can follow the same steps which I taught you now and you can clearly understand how it works. Okay. So thanks everyone. Let me know if you have any queries.